Once upon a time, my Land Cruiser sat in a garage for 6 months and they fixed nothing. In fact, that's why I just learned to fix it myself, and look how far we've come. I needed something temporary. It had to be massive and it had to be cheap. So I bought a Range Rover. And I actually liked it an awful lot. Now, I'm aware most of you haven't actually seen that car. I hadn't even started this YouTube channel yet. So here it is. So I decided to buy another car to tide me over until the Land Cruiser is ready. Heading over to Big Dave's to show him the car what I have just bought. He's probably gonna hate it. Let's see if we can get his reaction.
Very cheap.
It was!
Okay, not so bad.
I love that before he's even seen it, before he's gotten into it, he already has a handful of diagnostic tools. Like, talk about low expectations, Dave. I've just told him that you're going to hate it.
So, I mean, I already hate them.
What you're in, David, is a 2004 V8 Range Rover, which might do 13 miles to the gallon.
Oh, that's the economic.
This one is
only if it runs.
the first engine he made, which is the BMW V8.
All right, it's not
off of drift cars.
Oh, it's not the engines that failed.
And then this one has the tragic gearbox,
It's
the 5-speed GM box, which failed so much that they then stopped making them. And this has the early generation of electrics.
Oh, good.
There's a bizarre anti-gravity puddle has formed on the bonnet. Like, the wind keeps blowing it back up and the corners keep sloshing it. We're going to go around a corner now and it sloshes up the side, but it can't escape. The brakes work, the engine works.
Engine works.
We're
Yes.
currently doing 14 miles to the gallon.
I feel like it better now.
What do you think will break first?
Probably something electrical.
Given it at the moment, there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah.
Like, everything works, the electric seats, the movers. Well, apart from the television, because you need to get like an analog.
Wait, analog television doesn't exist anymore.
Correct.
So it will.
So the TV,
It won't work.
it needs like a new thing in the boot, and then it will receive digital signals again.
Or you could just
Or you could just not have a television.
Watch the television.
I think I'm just going to get the same little Bluetoothy gadget that you got before.
Which is
It has a Webasto in here somewhere because it's got controls for preheating the cabin and stuff. Oh,
it'll be out there something. What
any of that is.
standard something or other, right height?
Oh, standard. Yes, we're on standard ride height. Is there like a motorway ride height? I'm gonna twist that down. That was the one thing, I didn't test drive it, but I did make sure that the air suspension would go through a full cycle, and I made sure that the gearbox worked in reverse. It is savage in reverse, as you'll find out. For some reason, you put it into reverse and you barest tickle on the throttle and it tries to send you through the windscreen. I don't understand. But it's got ISOFIX harnesses in the back, which the Land Cruiser doesn't have.
Ready for another powerful overtake?
Right, I'm ready.
Ready.
This poor cyclist. Remember I gave him his 1.5 metres?
Sounds great.
I'm gonna put a K&N on it, Dave.
Sounds fantastic. Even from in here with the sound in.
And the brakes?
Yeah.
Give us the brakes. Oh, things falling. Wow.
Yeah, they're fine. I'll be happy. It didn't pull to any weird directions.
I think the steering wheel isn't quite straight.
It's off slightly.
This has 389 grams of CO2 per mile. It is like the worst thing I have ever owned or driven. This has got a Harman hard-on
Harman Kardon.
sound system.
Harman hard-on.
Does it work? I'm guessing that music button would be...
Music?
No, source memory? No. There's a music button. Radio. By the way, 20-year-old touch screen. Like literal touch screen.
Yeah.
Like, that's bizarre. I did not expect that.
Then again, how long ago was it? 20 years?
2004 this is.
Yeah, so...
We're just old. We're just old.
Yeah.
I have discovered one fault with it so far.
Yes.
Like, sitting in my head, the back here, my head is touching the ceiling, and I thought that's a bit weird. Range Rovers are supposed to have headroom, but the problem is the headliner is no longer attached. It's like I expected it to be full of water. So yeah, that's one thing. It'll need glue on there. Some of the seat design is a little weird because I feel like it should have a pop out here somewhere and it doesn't. But I've got a free book of Toy Story 4, some saliva included. It was published in 2020, so a child has been in there in the last 2 years. Oh wait, did you see the car phone?
You need new gas struts for your thing.
I know, but it's got actual gas struts, like at the bottom, just like little sprays. Actually, I think it needs new gas struts everywhere. But check that out. That is an actual curly cable car phone thing, and you can buy them on the internet.
Transfer gearbox.
That could be like Wolf of Wall Street.
Clear all these.
Bum heater in the back is working as well, that's confirmed. So this is the Vogue, which is the second from the bottom of the range one, because they only made the HSE, and then the Vogue, and then they made, later on, they made Vogue SE and Autobiography.
Right.
So at the time that this was sold, this was top of the range.
Yeah.
And it had, you know, a lot of this stuff is just standard. I don't know which ones are options, but like heated steering wheel. It's got a notepad. Like I think this, you think that's like voice control. It's not, you press this button, and it does nothing.
You take voice notes.
But you take voice notes, you literally can, oh it says phone on your dashboard now, I don't know what that is. But, full service history, 105,000 miles, it's just done a round trip to Skye without failing, and there's nothing wrong with it apart from a wing mirror and the door trim's fallen off.
Maybe this is one of the things. So the problem with Land Rover and Range Rover is there's no consistency.
Yes.
So you'll either end up with a brilliant one that will never stop, or you get the fucked one that breaks every 1,000 miles.
Every single thing breaks on it.
And there's nothing in between.
But the thing is, everything that I've bought has had, I was thinking about this in the share this morning. So people think that the RS6 is broadly reliable. Wasn't for me.
It wasn't for you, yeah.
Land Cruiser, known for its reliability, and mine needs £6,000–7,000 spent on it. Like, it seems like everything has its problems. The thing is, people on the internet talk, and a lot of people have a lot of opinions, and they think, oh, this car's crap, this car's crap, that car's crap. But who is buying these things? So everyone is getting, so from like 10 minutes driving around in this is way better than I had been expecting from the noise on the internet.
Yeah. Oh, that's there you go. It's the same as with Dave's pickup, 10,000 miles, and it's had umpteen things wrong with it.
Yeah, good old Rangers.
Ford Rangers. Yeah.
But I tell you, that's emission systems that fail. This definitely has no emission systems, no start, stop, no nothing. It is just an unquenchable thirst, and it'll probably eat through brake pads as well. So this has 900 litres of space in the back versus the Land Cruiser's 1,300, and the Q7 had 700-ish litres, so it's bigger than any of them. It doesn't have 7 seats, which means there's more space for storage.
It's a good shape, it's nice, it's a square.
It's a big cube.
Which is what you want, a big cube.
For my purposes, I want a big cube.
Yeah.
Let me see what I remember what the button was. I think it was that one. 15 mpg, look at that. Apparently we're going to get 369 out of it. Would you like to how much money it cost me to fill this tank?
Well, let's see what's, let me just pick is it an 80 litre tank?
It is 105 litres.
105 litres, okay, so that's like £250 to fill it.
It cost me 178 quid. I took it to the petrol station. My dad drove it there, so he was the first person to properly test drive it after I'd already bought it. So we took it to the petrol station, I put £178 into it. But yeah, I think this will do it for a backup car.
Yeah.
I think this will do just nicely. And I really hope, David, I really hope I don't like it.
Well,
because then I would be tempted to spend a bit more to get a slightly newer one, and then I might get into a world of pain.
But
so you need to stop me from doing that.
You keep this one as not having any problems before you buy the next one.
Yes.
Which will have all the problems.
It will have all the problems in the world. It needs a good clean and a good polish.
Yeah.
Because some of the surfaces are really grubby. But remarkable, really, for 18 years, and it looks good. So, can I be forgiven given how much I paid for it?
Oh yes, absolutely, yeah. It's that.
So if I went to sell this clean, I would double my money.
I was going to say, if you told me that you'd spend £5 on this, yeah, but
you were like, out, take it back.
You working that yourself.
Well, the thing is, I'm hoping it doesn't need work done.
Yeah.
I think there's a bit of an oil leak underneath the engine. Don't know what that is, but other than that, everything seems to be tip top. You don't hate me for buying it?
Oh, not yet.
Not yet. Not yet. So that was my 2004 Range Rover, and I liked it a lot, and I'm considering getting another one. I'm also working on a video to fully explain the drama of my stolen engine and the garage that I had problems with. And I'm also working on a comparison video between the Cruiser and the Range Rover because there was a lot to like about both of them. And that's why I'm considering buying another one. There's a nice space in the driveway here that might look good with a little Range Rover in it, or a big Range Rover. Anyway, thank you for watching, everyone. Stay safe, make good decisions, and I will see you in another video on Sunday. Thanks all. Bye.